Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blog. So let's get to it. I say I'm gonna take some time off, y'all.
All the cashiers, they was like, somebody stole her truck. It was like you could hear it all throughout the store.
This Rox coming to you today with a review for Love and Marriage Detroit, Love and Marriage Huntsville, our book 4, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let's get to it, shall we? All right, you guys, let's break it up. We'll have the serious stuff in the first video and all the gossip in the second. So on this one, let's talk about the huge ICE raids that are going on all over the country that are terrorizing immigrants and non-immigrants alike. Just by watching what's going on in Los Angeles, or in California, I should say. ICE has been out there. They have been rounding up the people, but they have been acting like, they have been acting like they have been rounding up like criminals, and that they are, it's just really sad to see that they are doing this. I feel like ICE and YSAP and his junk drawer, I feel like they are trying to start a civil war. Because the way that ICE is behaving, it's not even the way that we've ever seen, like agents to treat people when they're doing things like this in the past. It just seems so very much inhumane. Like we said, they haven't been giving these people due process. Excuse me, I got something stuck on my gloss. But they haven't been giving these people due process. They've been rounding them up, taking them to the detention centers, and then they've been sending them home, or sending them to, some of these people have never even been to the places that they're sending them. They've been here their whole lives, or their whole lives that they can remember, even as kids. They're sending back these people. They're sending back family members. We've been hearing all about it, and I feel like, am I mistaken? I feel like they did let the guy, the Abrego guy that was sent to, where did they send him? You guys know where they sent him. I can't think right now, but you guys know where they sent him. Anyway, I think that he is back in the United States. However, they are now pressing charges. He's still not home because they're pressing charges for like some kind of drug. They're pinning some charges on him, basically, because they still want to be able to say that he was a criminal and that he was doing something illegal, and that was the reason why they sent him to begin with. So they came, as far as I'm concerned, to some old trumped up charges, okay? Because if he was in trouble for it a long time ago, why we ain't never heard nothing about it since, So anyway, yeah, it's been awful to see. I was watching the news yesterday, and they were showing the agents chasing these immigrants in the fields. They literally were out there working, and the ICE agents came to their jobs and was chasing them as they were running through the fields. These people are trying to, I just was like, I cannot believe that this is my city to begin with, and I cannot believe that this is our country. That this is where we are right now. I don't like talking about it because it just seems like I'm just like preachy, and every week I'm talking about, that's why I hate talking about politics, because it's not getting no better. As a matter of fact, it's getting worse. And every week, I just prefer to stick my head in the sand. Sometimes I just don't want to have to even deal with it. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to think about it. That's why it's so easy for me to just joke around and laugh and do like funny shit, but I just really don't like talking about this. The world is just so ugly and They said overnight, this was last night. Yesterday I was watching World News Tonight, so this is what they were saying. They said that there were over 200 people that were arrested overnight from Tuesday going into Wednesday. They have the federal troops that are dispersed all over the country, right? And now they have the Marines that are coming in and assisting the federal troops. I guess, what is that, like National Guards or something? I don't know what the federal troops would be, but or I guess that would be the ICE agents. So they have the Marines now coming in and assisting these ICE agents, okay? They're using our military to turn on our people. They've got people out there, well, of course, because now the riots have started. It wouldn't have even been a riot. It would have been just a peaceful protest if they would allow the people to protest. However, you know, they are making it so difficult to be able to have a peaceful protest. You know, you've got all of this heavy military and police presence, you know, emotions are already high. People are very upset. And then it makes it worse when you have like all of this presence in your face, you know, with the guns and everything. It is just, they are trying to incite a riot. They want to be able to declare some sort of military or martial law or whatever they call it. And I just feel like that's what they're trying to do, because they're so brazen with it that they're pissing people off. Somebody is going to react, and they're waiting for that. They're waiting for the big fight back to happen. And it's almost like they're daring us. And I just, man, I'm telling you, I am just so disappointed. I am so disappointed. But when I saw them people chasing them people, I saw some of the federal agents, like somebody was turning a corner and they literally, like, 2 cars came and, like in the movies, like came up on them and like cornered them, like they could not move, you know, and the person tried to jump out and they jumped out and everything. I mean, I was just like, what the fuck is going on? This is their own people that they are doing this to. Okay, it's not just immigrants, it's Americans. And then, you know, the riots that are going on, that have started now, you know, well, I don't even think it's gotten to riot stage yet, but it's going to get there. They have a curfew, so they're trying to keep the people in the house at night and everything. But if ICE agents keep up with this, it's just going to get worse, and it's going to become a confrontation eventually. And it's going to be a lot of people that get hurt, a lot of people that probably will get killed. And I think that's what they want. You know? I mean, YSAP has a military parade planned this Saturday for his birthday, basically. It's supposed to be a celebration of the military and, you know, just the support of our troops or whatever. They're going to have tanks out there and, you know, different things for people to walk around if they want to see. I mean, it seems like it probably would have been a pretty interesting thing, but with all this going on, all it gives me is the feels of when we used to see like the old pictures of like when Hitler would have like these military big shows, you know, and him being up on the stage and everybody hail Hitler and doing all of the things that they do. And, you know, it's just like, I don't know why nobody else sees all the symbolism and the things that YSAP is trying. Or maybe they do see it and they just don't care. That's probably more of what it is. But it's just like, I can already picture in my mind the military parade. I can see the flags. I can see the troops. I can see everything set up, the red, white, and blue. I can see YSAP up there with his inflated ego and his, you know, his whole big, I'm the boogeyman. I can do whatever the fuck I want to say. I just can see it all. And I'm just like, the reason why YSAP has his hands in everything is because they want to control everything. And the reason why they want to control everything is because they want to turn this country into a dictatorship country. He wants to be the dictator. He wants to be the leader, the king. Okay? And this stuff that's happening is just allowing. It's just happening. I like the fact that Gavin Newsom is fighting back. And I think that there are going to be even more and more governors, you know, as this goes on across the country. There are going to be a lot of more governors who have a lot to say about this. But the military parade, they say it's going to be 7,000 soldiers. They're going to have over 28 tanks and rocket launchers and missiles and all that stuff out there for display. And I'm interested in seeing how many people turn out for this parade tomorrow. Or I mean, it'll be tomorrow if you're watching this on Friday. I'm really interested to see who is going to be supporting this shit. Okay? I really wonder, like, those who voted for YSAP but now see all of the things that he's doing. Like, I saw that there was a Latins for Trump. The Latins for Trump, the Latinos for Trump, they have now spoken out and said that this is not what they wanted and all that. And it just was like, I don't even know why y'all thought that this man was gonna do anything different. But what really burns my gears, you guys, is the whole Latinos for Trump, the ones that did vote for YSAP, okay? And were quite proud in doing so, okay? Because they even felt like there were some people, you know, some Latinos and Latinas that needed to be sent on their way. Well, now we've got those same people saying this is not what we signed up for. And it's just sort of like, well, what did you think exactly was going to happen? Because this man didn't told y'all that he was going to send these people back. And so I guess you thought he was going to do it like a way where it was just the No, why did you think that? Why did you think that? This man don't want y'all here. Okay? He don't want them here. And you guys voted for him. And I'm speaking specifically to Latinos and Latinas for Trump. I'm not talking about the ones who said that they did not vote for him. Okay? But unfortunately, your community is affected because you got some stupid ass people in your community that has decided to vote for YSAP. And now look at it. You got your abuela and your abuelos is getting sent the fuck back somewhere that they don't even, them people ain't been there in 100 years. And now they're getting sent back to child. It's a mess. Kids. Oh, I done talked about that way too long. Way too long. Let's move off of it, you guys. But I pray for our country, you guys. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. Moving off of that, you guys. Let's move on to something. Well, let's move on. All right, so Harvey Weinstein. You guys know that they had his case in New York. Remember, he was found guilty in LA. Well, was it in LA? He was found guilty previously. Okay. Yeah, I think it was in LA. He was found guilty in LA, but he also had to be extradited and taken to New York because he had also had a lawsuit, a case out there in New York. So that case has finally happened, and there was a split verdict. Okay. He was acquitted for assaulting this one particular woman. But he was also found guilty on the other two charges. So there were 3 women, I believe there were, or 3 charges. He was found guilty on 2 of those 3 charges. The other one, he was acquitted on. However, the issue that they've been having with the Harvey Weinstein case is that the jury done fell apart, child. We don't really know exactly what happened within the jury, but the jury foreman informed the judge that he don't want to be fucking with them jurors no more. He's afraid of the jurors. He said that he feels afraid when he's around them because apparently while they were all in the jury deliberation room, well, some shit got a little heated. And they fell out, they all fell out with each other, or they all fell out with the foreman. They said that he wasn't I guess he was holding out on he would not change something that they all felt one way. I guess the jury foreman felt a different way, or, something like that. And they could not come to no agreement on that. That's why the first one was an acquittal. But he's now saying that he don't even want to go back in there. He don't want to deal with them people. He's terrified of them. He feels afraid. So they're still working. I don't think that case is completely over. So they're still trying to hammer it out and everything. But yeah, the jury didn't fell apart over there with Mr. Harvey Weinstein. They haven't sentenced him yet, but he's found guilty on 2 charges. So he's going to be, Harvey's going to be in jail for the rest of his life anyway. And looking at Harvey in them pictures, child, it won't be much longer. That's terrible to say, but he looks awful. He looks really, really, really sick. And you guys know he never was really a looker to begin with. But when you see him now, he looks awful. Okay. Now Harvey is upset that all this is going on. He feels like his case has been turned into a circus, and he told the judge that he felt like he wasn't getting a fair trial. They usually say stuff like that, I'm assuming, probably because they trying to set up, just in case they want to ask for a mistrial or something. I don't know how this works. I think that, he's already been found guilty and shit, but I guess maybe like if he has an appeal or something, that's probably the reason why he mentioned that he felt like it was unfair or whatever. But like I said, Harvey gonna be in jail. It's just gonna matter if it's gonna be 100 years or 200 years. My man is not getting out. Okay. All right, you guys, child, while we still talking about jail and shit. Oh, let me talk about Simon. Simon, we'll throw Simon in this part too. Simon Guabaldilla, you know, the soon-to-be ex-husband, now the estranged husband to Portia Williams. Remember, he was swept up in an ICE raid a couple of months ago, and now we've received word that Simon has been removed from the records of ICE agents, so he's not on the list anymore, which means that he has been processed through and sent on back home, and for him, home would be Nigeria. Okay. His business partner, Mr. what the young man name is? What's his name? Ty Savet, I believe is his name, or maybe it's a girl. But the business partner said that, Simon's in good spirits. Yes, Simon has been sent back to Nigeria. And even though, his experience there in a detention center was very trying and tough, he is in good spirits and he's okay. Okay. Simon hasn't put out any statement. Portia hasn't put out any statement. I have a feeling Simon will probably be back in Atlanta, but it's going to be interesting how he does that, because he's, high profile now. So people will notice him. People will know him if he does surface back here. And I would imagine that would mean that ICE would just come back for him. But a lot of people are saying that, they're deporting these people, but a lot of these people are making their way back to the United States. I don't know how true that is, but I know I've seen a lot of people say that. They also said that they sent back a very well-known, a popular content creator to Nigeria as well. His name was KB Lame, and apparently he's a big TikToker. Again, I've heard people say the same with Simon will be the same with the Mr. KB, and that he's probably going to end up back here in the United States. But it's going to be harder, because if he's a well-known content creator, people are going to know who he is. So interesting, you guys. And then, of course, Simon and this KB guy, it's a different situation for them. They probably have, they have money. So, ICE doesn't take your money. So, when they go home, it's probably a different situation for them. Are you thinking about these other people who already might have been, pinching pennies here in the United States, but then now you sending them back home to some nothing? That was the reason why they left. This is supposed to be the land of opportunity. I said I wasn't going to be harping on it. Let me move off of it. I just feel so bad for these people, but I knew that this is how it was going to be. What can you say and what can you do? Anyway, you guys, let's see. Let's move on. Should I throw Puffy? I'll put our rest in peace segments in here. All right, you guys, first up, we got to send a rest in peace to our girl, Ananda Lewis. I was so heartbroken. You guys, it was hard for me to write these notes. You hear my voice is getting tight, because her story parallels so much of my mom's story. So much. Okay, you guys, I've been sitting here for like 10 minutes trying to get myself together. I want to do this segment. What I was saying was I really want to do this segment because we remember Ananda Lewis, and we loved Ananda Lewis. We first met her on Teen Summit on BET, and she was on there for some years. This was years ago. I'm talking about when I was young, because she actually was very close to my age. But we watched her on Teen Summit, and then she became a video VJ on MTV. At one time, she was huge. I mean, she was everywhere all over MTV, because she was beautiful girl. You know, she had the whole exotic look, so everybody loved her. And she was on TRL, and then she used to do all of the spring break parties and everything, and we would see her. She even had her own show for a little while. You know, she just was always in our living rooms. And you know, she was just a household name. We loved Ananda Lewis. But you know, as she got older, we didn't see her much. You know, all of the BJs, everybody gets older, so we didn't see her anymore. But in 2020, she came out and told us that she had been diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. And, you know, we were all saddened to hear that. And she had told us at the time that she felt like she didn't want to do the conventional treatment, and she hold on, you guys. Okay, so when she told us that she had stage 3 cancer, she had opted to forego conventional treatment. She felt like that was not the choice for her, and that she would rather just try to change some things in her own life to try to combat this cancer, get the toxins out of her body. So she decided that she was going to do like a more holistic approach. And she just said that she was just going to eat better and, you know, rest her body and treat herself. You know, she was just going to fight it in that way. Well, last year in the fall sometime, she came out and told us, actually she did an interview, her and one of her good friends, who also I believe was going through a cancer journey. They did an interview. I think it was with, I don't know who the interview was with, maybe Huffington Post, but she and her friend were just talking about how maybe she had some regrets about the choices that she made, you know, back when she was diagnosed. That when she was diagnosed, they told her the doctors wanted to do very aggressive surgery. They wanted to, you know, cut off both of her breasts. And she felt like at the time that was way too much for her. She could not even handle the thought of doing something like that. And she just was not ready. That's the sad thing about cancer. You're not really ever ready, you know? So, that's when she told the doctors that she wasn't going to do that then. However, fast forward 5 years later, you know, she now had wished that she had gone on ahead and maybe went on and got the surgery. Because now, you know, her surgery, her cancer, even though those 3 years it had gone, I guess, into some sort of remission, when it came back, it had metastasized, so it was now in spread all throughout her body. You know, she realized that her days were going to be numbered from that point. And all she said in that interview was, you know, she does realize that she's going to die from this disease, from this tumor that she decided to keep. However, she was hoping that it just wasn't right now, that she wasn't ready right now, and that she would hope that and that maybe old cancer can give her a break and give her some time, you know, to do all the things that she still wanted to do. And when it was time, you know, she would be ready. But, you know, it didn't work out for her that way. So now, I'm sorry, you guys. I can't do it. I'm sorry, you guys. I cannot. I just can't. You guys got the gist, right? I don't even want to talk about it no more. I don't feel like talking about nobody dying. So, I was also supposed to talk about Sly Stone and Aaron Lewis, I think is his name, from Atlantic Star. I'm just going to say rest in peace to everybody. I'm going to try it. I'm going to run in the store and do what I got to do and come back and try to get my emotions together. I wanted to do the story about her because I knew a lot of people were going to ask me about why I didn't. But that shit is tough, y'all, because, you know, you be so, it has brought back feelings of anger. But the whole thing has brought back so many feelings today. And that's the thing about grief. You can be fine. There can be days that I could have done this story and I would not have cried at all. You know, today wasn't the day. So I'm sorry. I hate crying on camera. I don't want everybody keep on saying, you know, feeling bad. Anyway, I'm going to end it. Let me stop. We end it. We do this every single week. So make sure you thumbs up the video, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back.